Hello again, YouTube. My name is Chase. I want to start off by saying a couple of things real quick. First thing, if you're new to the channel, I apologize, kind of bear with me. I'm doing a little update on, my life and everything that's been kind of going on. Since the last time I've made a video, I'll put a timestamp for those of you that are more interested in what's going on. The main point of this video is an update on my Scion XB, which is finished for the most part. It's running, it's driving, it's tuned, everything. I've kind of slacked on making a video, but I've got some pretty exciting stuff to share on that. So if that's what you're interested in, I'll put a timestamp ahead for you guys to skip ahead, and y'all can skip the first part of this video. But I'm gonna try to make this pretty short. Just want to give you guys some updates and kind of tell you guys what's been going on and why I haven't been making videos like I should be. First and foremost, I got married in 2025, early part of 2025, and my now wife at the time, we had just bought a house prior to being married at the end of 2024. So we've got that two big things in my life that's been kind of keep pulling my attention away from YouTube and cars and stuff. The next big thing is we just had our first baby, a little baby boy. He was born on Valentine's Day this year. So, that's super exciting. We're, like I said, it's our first kid, and we're so excited. We can't wait to see, how that goes in the future. I can't wait to get him into, cars or whatever he's into. I'm not going to force anything on him, but just can't wait. Really looking forward to it. So, those couple of things out of the way. The house. Let me talk about the new house that we got. It's a pretty nice place. We got we're out in kind of out in the country, outside of the DFW Metroplex here in Texas. As you can see, the house has a shop, or had a shop, already existing on the property, and it needed some work. The shop did, and I'll kind of go through some of that stuff with you real quick. But, we finally got some land, I finally got some shop space, and I finally have room to kind of, do some of the stuff that I want to do. And as we kind of navigate this new life, being married, having a kid and everything, I'm going to try to kind of get a routine down where I can squeeze in some video time on and try to get some YouTube videos going and show more of the car and everything. So with that being said, I'm going to give a quick little shop tour and kind of give you guys some information on what we got going on. Then I'm gonna get into the reveal of the Scion XB, and I can't wait to show you guys that either. So just stick around and we'll get to it.
You better get in here. Hold up, not another comment. I know the boy not hot yet. You mad, drop another project. Go ahead.
All right, so as far as inside the shop goes, there's not a whole lot of stuff to show you guys. I mean, it looks a little bit crowded maybe to some of you guys. It's about 90% organized how I want it to be, but I'm just gonna kind of go through a little bit of the stuff that we did and just kind of show you if you're wondering what's going on with this car and the XB here and then this other FRS behind me. I'll kind of give a quick little rundown of that stuff. But the shop, when we bought the house, did not have any power. It did not have, it was just a shell and concrete, and that's it. It had the roll-up doors on it. It's got one back here and one right over here behind me. And that was it. That was kind of, obviously having a shop is great, but not having power in a shop when you're trying to build cars and do stuff is kind of a big deal. And getting power in a shop is it can be expensive. So also, another thing I wanted to say is in regards to these longer intros on these videos that I do, I like to make the kind of content that I would watch, and I find that I enjoy content more from people who share a lot about their lives, a lot about themselves, which kind of, makes a longer video, but it makes it, I feel like I know them better, right? So I don't really care to name off any channels, but there are some channels that I watch that kind of show, they're a little bit like distracted, right? Kind of like an ADD type video where they're like, hey, we're doing this, and then they see this and they kind of get a little sidetracked or whatever. One guy that I watch, he does a lot of old cars, and he likes to go and he does like will it run style videos, and he'll find an old car sitting in a field somewhere, and he'll go to like a small little local town somewhere nearby where he picks a car up, and he'll go find somewhere to eat, and he'll go, you know, find like a little historical part of town or something, and he kind of shows a little bit of that. And I just really like that style of video. It kind of puts me there with them. You know, I get to see a lot more than just a car, and I don't know, I just like that. So that's kind of a little bit of like inspiration that I want to take from some of these channels to, you know, I want to kind of apply that here. So, you know, you'll see some of this extra stuff that maybe you don't care about, and if that's the case, I'm sorry. You know, feel free to skip around, find whatever it is you're wanting to see. But I encourage you to you know, stick around and see what I'm doing, because I might get myself into some pretty fun stuff. So just want to say that. For the power, this pole here, we didn't have the room on the house to piggyback power off the house power panel. Especially we didn't have enough room to feed enough power, right? We could have put like a 30 amp breaker on the house or something like that and feed the shop. But, you know, if we're trying to run a welder or something like that in here, you just can't do that. So we had to basically run a separate power meter from that pole. You can't really see, you can see a little bit of the remnants where this kind of dirt is right here, and the camera's not focusing. And we had to run power all the way from that pole to the shop. So the shop has its own power meter now, which is cool. There's plenty of good things about that. The downside is it's expensive to do that, but it has its own electric bill now, which kind of simplifies things. And then me and some family did all the interior stuff, and we had to route the conduit, and I went on ahead and did, you know, metal EMT conduit, because I want this thing to be pretty durable, you know, and I want it to last a long time. So we've got conduit ran through the entire shop. In the ceiling, you got outlets in the ceiling all the way back. I've got outlets on that wall all the way down. I've got outlets on that wall. I've got outlets on this wall, and I've got an outlet over here. So I'm set up to do whatever I want to do in this shop. I've got power pretty much anywhere I need it. And my TIG welder, which isn't anything fancy, has its own dedicated outlet as well. So, you know, kind of getting set up to do a lot more, you know, cool stuff, a lot more of my own, you know, kind of fabricating work instead of having to outsource some of that stuff. So pretty much the red FRS and the gray FRS just are in the way. I'm doing some work on them, and they're about ready to be done. I just need to get them out of here. You know, the red one still doesn't have a motor in it. It's actually over here on the shelf, all taken apart, all the bits and pieces, and you can see right here the block, the case halves right there. And the problem with that motor was basically spun a bearing and threw a rod and just kind of caused chaos. This black XB back here this is kind of a test mule, if you will. I bought this car for basically nothing. I paid very little for it. It's a running, driving car. Got a title, everything. It does have a little bit of damage. It's been hit over here in this door, and it's gotten into the body a little bit, but it doesn't affect the drivability or anything like that. It's perfectly fine running car. But what I'm using this car for is actually to test fit a transmission in this car. I have this is out of a Camry, a 1999 1MZ V6 Camry. It's basically the same transmission that's in the Toyota MR2, the Turbo MR2. It's an E153, really strong transmission. They should hold like 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower pretty easily. And this one has been faceplated or dog boxed, basically. It's not straight cut gears, it's factory gears. Gears 1 through 4 were sent off to Liberty, and they were converted to a faceplate style engagement, which eliminates the synchronizer and allows you to basically slam it in gear as fast as you can, and it's gonna take it. It's gonna shift gears, it's not gonna grind or anything like that. So I'll be able to do that 1 through 4, and I'll be able to hold the power, you know, without breaking the transmission. I'm still on a stock trans on my XB. I've broken it one time back when the car made like 550 horsepower. And that was several years ago, and that's the only trans I've broke, which I'm pretty surprised about. But I'll reveal the new horsepower numbers here in just a little bit when I get to that car. But still haven't broke the transmission. That's pretty incredible. So anyways, what I'm doing with this car is I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to make this transmission fit this car. And when I do have that figured out, I'll be putting this transmission in my race car, and I won't have like any downtime. I'll be able to basically just get in it and go, and that's going to be really cool. And then eventually make my way over here. I have plans to figure out an all-wheel drive setup on my XB, and I have this here as a transfer case out of a ST185 Celica GT4. It's not the strongest transfer case there is. I think the 205s are a little bit stronger, but I do have this, and this will bolt right up to that transmission. And I have to swap the diff out of the transmission with a Celica diff because it has the center diff built into the differential. But I'll get that done one day, and I don't even know if that transfer case will hold the power. That's going to be kind of a scary situation, but that's way down the line. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull anything like that off anytime soon, but that's just what I want to do. But anyways, that is going to pretty much wrap up what we've got going on in here. With all that being said, let's move on to what most of you guys have been waiting for, the XB update, or reveal, if you will, because this car has changed a lot since my last video. I know I kind of gave a sneak peek with what was going on in the car, but the car is very different from when I was last racing it. So let's get into it.
No flex zone, big text home, steps been grown, get my phone, pull it to the dome, rap gang flown. This my home, been tripping on a budget, and they love it, kid bitching at the function, I'm above it, middle fingers up or something, they can shove it, everybody love to talk shit, but I done it. Hold up, not another comment, I know, the boy not hot yet, you mad, drop another project, go ahead, write me my check.
Hold up, not another comment. I know the boy not hot yet. You mad, drop another project. Go ahead, write me my check.
Ambition on a mission, pink shirt.
So getting into just some of the features, obviously, right off the bat, you can see, we did have I think the last video you guys saw was a manifold that I had bought from someone else who was doing like a custom setup. I don't have that manifold anymore. We ditched it. It was a T4 flange, and we went with a completely custom made manifold that has a V-band flange, which is way better. We got the twin 38mm tile wastegates. They dump out of the hood, and a 3.5 inch teardrop exit right out of the fender. We have a custom Garrett intercooler. This is a Garrett core. I think it's like 3.5 or 4 inch thick. I can't remember the exact dimensions, but it's big, and they're really efficient intercoolers for as far as air to air goes. And my fabricator had to build custom end tanks for this thing, so it's a cross flow. So we have basically a bare end tank on this side, and then we have the inlet exit, or the inlet and outlet rather, on this side. And that's kind of how a lot of the K series guys, like the RSX, Turbo RSX guys, do that. But that's kind of what I wanted on this setup, to avoid having a charge pipe come from the turbo back around this way over here and then back out. I just wanted the charge pipe out of the turbo to go right into the intercooler and then back into the manifold. A little bit less piping, looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit more volume, or a little bit less volume for the turbo to have to fill up, so it kind of reduces a little bit of lag. So, and you can also see here, it has these like clamshell or Wiggins style intercooler clamps, air couplers that have O-rings and a flange underneath them, so they look a lot better than the silicone couplers and hose clamps, and a little bit more reliable. They hold a ton of pressure. Like I think those fittings will hold like 200 or 300 psi, so don't ever have to worry about popping an intercooler clamp. You can see another one there. The only place that I do have a hose clamp is actually at the throttle body, so, which is something else that we changed. This car now has a RX-8 throttle body. I think it's around 70 millimeters. So that helps a lot with making power and just the general like drivability. Like the throttle is a little bit smoother with a larger throttle body. So, and we had to modify. It has a Weapon R manifold, which I'm not really a fan of. I don't recommend anyone getting it. I've already had issues with it cracking, but we had to modify that for the larger throttle body, which wasn't a big deal. It is a Pulsar 3584R turbo. The exact specs are slipping my mind right now. It's like a 67, 66 or something like that. I'll post the specs here on the screen, but really good turbo. It's ball bearing, or ceramic ball bearing turbo, all that good stuff. V-band. It's got a stainless steel housing, 0.82 on the exhaust side, and it spools pretty quick for a large turbo, and it makes very, very good power. I'll post the dyno video for you guys. Of course, no air filter, don't need one. We just got a turbo guard on there. We got a small Mishimoto oil cooler, and we had to do a completely custom radiator setup as well. This is, again, this is what a lot of Honda guys use. It's like a tucked radiator. It's pretty thick. It's got twin fans on it. The inlet and outlet are on the same side over here. It's decent radiator. It keeps the car cool when it's not too terribly hot outside, but when it gets over like 85, 90 degrees, the water temp starts climbing up a little over, 205, 210, and I don't like that for this kind of, for this car. It's okay just kind of putting down the road, but, we start getting those water temps up to 200, 205 degrees. That's a little bit too hot to be beating on the car, so it's not a hot weather car. But the car doesn't have AC anyways, so I don't really drive it in the summer. But, when it's about 70 degrees or cooler, man, this thing is happy. It doesn't overheat. It runs great, super powerful, really, really fun. Had to do a custom catch can as well. So it's got a large tank where the washer fluid used to sit. Like I said, it's completely custom. You can kind of see the tank right there. And it's got a drain on the bottom. You got two -10 hoses coming off the valve cover there and here. And I think that pretty much wraps up a lot of the big stuff we did. I did do a high output alternator. So it's got these, the big 3 wiring kit. A lot of you audio guys might know a lot about that. But it's got a high output alternator because the car has a Hellcat fuel pump now and 2600 cc injectors. So it needs to draw a lot of power. So we don't want any issues with that. And the fuel pump draws power directly from the battery, which the battery's in the back of the car. So that's what this, whole setup is about. And it's got upgraded wiring. It's all 0-1 gauge, wiring straight from the battery to the alternator to the fuse box, everything. So, turned out to be a really, really cool setup. Like I said, the car is on all most aftermarket sensors. The cam and crank sensors are stock, but we've got oil pressure and oil temperature combination sensor here from Low Dollar Motorsports. We have a coolant pressure sensor here from Low Dollar Motorsports, and we're using the stock water temp sensor, which if I could have redone it, I would have got a combo sensor and just eliminated the stock temp sensor, but is what it is. We've got stock knock sensor, but we have fuel pressure sensor back there from Low Dollar Motorsports. You can see on the regulator. There's the AEM map sensor there, mounted on the firewall to eliminate noise and vibrations and stuff like that from it being on the the throttle body, the manifold. So it's mounted remotely. Full return style fuel system. I think it's -6 from the, it is -6 from the tank. Just really, really good, build. It came out really, really nice. Had to cut the hood for clearance for the oil cooler fittings. And we also, my dad and I made this. He's pretty good at fabricating, and good little father-son project was when we were mounting this turbo here, the factory radiator, cross member is like a square bracket, and it comes from here across all the way to here. And we had to get rid of that. When we kind of cut it up to make clearance for the turbo, it was way too flimsy and it couldn't support the these uprights anymore. So I was like, well, I need to make something to kind of support these because they were a little bit flimsy. and getting rid of it completely gave me plenty of room to put the turbo behind the grill, which is exactly where I wanted it. So we made this out of just a piece of bar stock and bent it on my tube bender and smashed the ends of it in my press and drilled some holes, and we got this nice little, you know, cool looking radiator support, and you know, turned out really, really nice. So I wanted to get the car painted before I did this reveal video, but obviously, you know, due to the things that I had gone over, buying a house, getting married, having a kid, a paint job was just not in question or in the cards for this car. But that is something I want to do one day, and I will do one day, but it's just gonna have to wait. The car is incredible though. I love driving it. It runs really, really well. It is on pump gas right now, so probably making 500 or so, maybe close to 600, somewhere in that ballpark. It definitely makes more power, you know, with that larger turbo than the old setup. But and as you can imagine, still have crazy traction issues. I've raced it a couple of times at some local events, like no prep events, and pretty much got my ass handed to me because I just, first of all, I haven't driven this car like that in a long time. It's been, you know, under construction for a while. And secondly, it just makes too much power now. You know, when I grab third gear, it's 8th mile only. And when I grab third gear, it's still just trying to spin the tires. And, you know, by then the race is over. So I'll get it figured out though. It's no big deal. I just need, you know, get more affiliated with the car and kind of spend more time setting it up. But, this is it, guys. I'm super excited to show it to you guys. I don't have a whole lot of like other content to show you with the car yet because I just haven't really recorded anything and I haven't done much with the car, but I do promise you that's coming. The car is at a point where I can, you know, do that. So looking forward to getting this thing out there and showing you guys what it can do. So that's going to be it, guys, for today. I just wanted to kind of show off what this car has turned into. I know it's been a long time coming. I apologize for that. I know I've said it before, but I mean it this time. I'm going to try to get you guys more videos more regularly and, you know, take you guys along when I go do stuff with this car, because it is just rowdy. You know, when I take this thing out and get on the two-step for people at events, especially at night, when it shoots that giant fireball out, it's just so cool. People love it. And I love, you know, bringing something to people that is so unique and so different. I love sharing that with people. I'm super proud of it and just can't wait to go do stuff with this car and make memories and friends. So I'll see you guys in the future, very near future. We'll get some stuff done. It is coming up on summer. You know, I said earlier, I don't drive this car a whole lot in the summer, but we're going to find some stuff to do and we're going to do some stuff. So thanks again, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. You know, please like, subscribe, share the video. It helps me out a bunch. And, you know, I'll bring you guys along for the next one. Peace. Oh, I forgot one more thing, guys. I just want to show you this too real quick. I even bought another one as a daily driver. Like when my wife and I had our kid, I needed something 4 doors. And so I went out and bought another XB, a silver one, just like my race car. I have no idea what's wrong with me.